Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sherri Coffelt, and I am so excited today to talk to my special guest, Brook Borup. I have to tell you, I've had the opportunity to get to know Brook the last few weeks, and she is amazing. She's the architect and business builder behind the done-for-you agency called My Clone Solution, and she's founder of the Small Business Growth Community. Now, what makes Brook really amazing is that she knows that implementing scalable systems and processes in your business can help you create a profitable venture that can run without you. And we all want that, right? And that allows us to lead a life that we all dream about as business owners. And you all know me, I'm all about living your bucket list now and taking our businesses with us. When it comes to helping businesses that be better by planning, by executing, and by launching automation and delegation in their businesses, no one does it better than the team at My Clone Solution. Brook Borup, welcome. I am so glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Sherri. I'm so excited to be here and talk to your folks that you've got here.
Oh, yes. You know, we're kind of kindred spirits because, as I've shared with you, I'm a little bit of a techie nut too. I love systems. I love new automation processes and so on and so forth. So I'm anxious to hear everything that you have to say today. Let's start with kind of a general question. Why do you believe that systems are so crucial to our business structure and success?
So we're going to talk today about systems and processes. And so most people just kind of lump those together and they don't know how they're separate. But systems is the software and the actual the doing of what it is you need to do. So we use software to make our lives easier. This is where automation comes in because we're also going to be talking about automation and delegation. But these systems are able to help us run our companies from a bunch of different standpoints. The system that's crucial to us is the one that we're going to use, and it's going to work for our business. So, I know a lot of people are like, you must use this, or you must use this, or you must use this. That is not my school of thought, even though I do have my preferred. And I will tell you why I have my preferred if they're on that list for you. But if they're too much for you or not enough for you, I'm not going to tell you you have to have those.
I am so glad you said that because, it's funny because there are so many systems that basically do the same thing, but there's something about how they are designed that will work with different people's brains and how they operate better. There's two tools I know that I've used for building landing pages, and one of them just fits with me. I know where to do things. It's logical. It just fits with my style. The other one I have used for literally since it was introduced, I think 2011, and I still have trouble remembering how to do some certain things. So I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, I mean you have to use it. When we all at one point worked in a corporate world, whether it was our beginning jobs or whatever. We've worked in the corporate world, and the first thing that they gave us when we walked in was our username and password for their system, for their software system. And that held everything that we needed to do our jobs, hopefully. Now, I come from hospitality and retail, and that was never the case because, they don't put function into their stuff. But we as small business owners, being just us, we need to make life as easy as possible. And so the implementation piece of what we're doing, not that it's not hard to do. I just have to do it. Right? So it's really about knowing what it is that you're doing so that we know how to help you find the right system that is going to be able to not only work for you today, but be able to grow with you as you grow. That's that, and the ability to integrate things is key, because I have a philosophy. If I can't integrate it with other things, someday you're going to want something and I'm going to have to tell you no.
Yeah.
And I don't want to tell people no. So if I have to tell you, no, you can't have this system because it's not going to do anything for you in the future, it's not going to grow with you, then I'm going to tell you that today before we spend money setting it up. Mm-hmm. And most service providers that are out there. And I say most because there's a big percentage of service providers, and a good portion of them are only thinking about the task at hand. This person said they want a website. Great. I build Wix websites. They didn't bother to ask, are you going to have a membership in the future? Are you going to have courses in the future? Do you need to have landing pages?
Mhm.
Do you need to do anything extra special on your site? They don't ask those things because the client said, I need a website, right? That's the first thing I ask, because I'm not going to put you on something that can't grow with you so that we lose all of the work we've done because we have to start over because now you've decided that you want to do X, or now you and your business coach have decided that you're going to go in this direction. Well, I don't want to take your money and not give you something that's going to last. I want to make sure that it can grow with you. So that's why systems are so crucial to us.
Yeah. And I think we're all in search of the all-in-one solution, Holy Grail. Just haven't found it yet.
No,
I
they're not made by us for us. They're made for the masses.
I was gonna say, I just find that so many of the systems that claim to be all-in-one really don't do everything well. They do some things really well, and then they do other things really not very well at all.
Yeah, look at how they were founded.
Yes.
Right? You know, so if you're looking at the all-in-one, and they were founded because they were the best social media scheduler out there, they're probably not going to be the best for email, and they're probably not going to be the best for your website because they were the best at social media. They just added all these things to make people think that they were there. I have a Pilates studio that I've been working with for years, and this was basically where she was at, right? She was in an all-in-one that the majority of fitness studios use, and it just, the support wasn't there for all of the tools. The tools weren't robust enough. There is no roadmap that is constantly being upgraded. And so for you to go and put in, hey, can I get this? They're like, sorry, that's not what we do. And oh, by the way, yeah, we don't have the right triggers for integration with anything else. So you just have to use what we have or else. But there's nothing else out there that does the good stuff from that system, because the other systems that are competing with it aren't focusing on what this other one does well. They're only focusing on what they don't do well.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you that. So thank you for explaining that in terms of the systems or the software and the foundation. You talked about systems versus processes. Tell me a little bit more about processes and why you feel like they're necessary to scale our business and particularly to manage a team.
Yep. So once you have your system in place, then the processes come along. But we can't put the system in place without knowing what the processes are. So it's kind of a cart horse situation, right? So processes are the written documentation of what you do, when you do it, who's responsible for it, and how to do it, right? So processes are crucial to having a team, because your team that you decide to hire at some point needs to know what to do. You need to know how long it's going to take. They need to know how to do it and when to do it. So if you don't know what you're doing every day in your business, you can't hire an assistant that's going to be effective for you, because they're just going to end up sitting and waiting for you. So when we go through and we work with our clients to build the systems and processes, right? This usually comes down to, all right, let's go through everything you're doing. I need you to do a journal for me, right? So that I know everything you're doing. And then we can, from there, decide what can be automated and what can be delegated. And I guarantee you that if you do this whole process, that you will be able to automate and delegate 80% of what you are doing in your business right now, so that you can get back 80% of your time to do other stuff, i.e. live your life, i.e. more work, i.e. more sales, growth, scalability. And once you put the systems in place, then you can be scalable. Once you put the team in place, you can be even more scalable. But if you don't have all of those things, then you're floundering, you're overwhelmed, you don't know how to delegate because you don't know what to delegate, and you end up doing it anyway. Because as the last words of any success or any business owner is, It's just easier if I do it myself.
Oh, I hate those words. I hate those words. And I have so many clients that have come to me that have said, well, I tried hiring a virtual assistant once and it didn't work. She didn't know what to do. It's like, well, that kind of
Yep.
wasn't her job. I mean, you really kind of have to tell her what direction you want to go. So yeah, I totally get what you're talking about in terms of how the systems and the processes integrate. And they allow us to have a team that can help us get things off our plate, because without them, it's just all kind of a guessing game. So how, the thing is for newer entrepreneurs in particular, getting systems in place, getting processes in place, it's time consuming. It's probably a little scary to a lot of people, and it just feels big. How do you see that we can plan in advance and be able to implement and grow our systems and our processes over time?
All right, so Sherri, you're a mindset person, so this is going to be so much fun for your audience. This is all about mindset. And so depending on which generation you're a part of, because I work with young adults all the way up to people that retired already once, right? So I have boomers to Gen Zers right now in my client base. And it comes down to, what is it that you want out of your business, right? So from where you're at right now, you can do that journal. At some point in your life, I guarantee you've had a personal trainer or a wellness coach or whatever, and they said, I need you to document everything that goes in your mouth, right? It's a thing. What I want you to do is I want you to do the exact same thing. I want you to document every single thing you do as if you were billing as an attorney, right? Every 15 minutes. So what did you do for this 15 minutes? I need to set a timer. And so every 15 minutes, you're going to write down what you did. This will get you to understand what it is that you're doing in your business. I got a phone call that lasted 6 minutes. You can get that off the timer on your phone, right? So these are the things that you can use to build out what it is you are doing every day. Then, as you are doing things, as you are putting in stuff into your project management system, as you are doing the service that you do for your clients, you are going to document it with video. So there's so many tools out in the world to be able to do this. We use Loom. We use Berrycast to create our tutorial videos. There's a Google Chrome extension called Scribe that will record your screen and then create a written documented process from it. And so that allows you to start documenting all these processes as you're doing them, so that when it comes time to hire, or when it comes time that you're so overwhelmed that you need another person, you can literally spend one day, go over all of your processes and say, okay, this is done every day. This is done every week. This is done every month. This is done at this point in the client process, right? So just start documenting everything that you're doing. That's number one. This gives you the plan and it gives you part of the execution. Then all you have to do from here is get to a point where you're so overwhelmed, and then give me a Saturday morning. And we can sit down and go over all of that stuff and say, all right, well, from here, it looks like you have about 20 hours worth of work that a virtual assistant could do. Let's ask some questions here and fill in the holes. And then guess what? Now you can hire someone and you've got 20 hours a week back. And you know exactly how to keep them accountable. They know exactly what to do. You've already set them up for success. And at this point, you can easily get someone that is very budget conscious for us to be able to do that work. And all you have to do is be the owner, right? The manager, and make sure that the tasks are done. Right. That is key. That is how we build that scalable business bit by bit. Then if you're working with a business coach, or you're working with any sort of coaches, or you're in a new marketing strategy or whatever it is, now you can document that process and figure out how you can get it off your plate. Right. Once you start, it's really easy to keep going. What can I delegate next? For the women in the room and maybe the men, the first thing I say is get a housekeeper. Right?
Totally agree with that one.
For $100 or $150 a month, you can have a housekeeper come in and clean your house once a month. And now you've delegated something that was easy to delegate, right? Or if you hate cooking, hire food in. You know, there are lots of people out here, gig workers, that want to do stuff like this.
And
you
there's
buy
some
the
of those
groceries,
home delivery services for food that are great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, mix and match, you know, get somebody to come in and cook out of your own kitchen and hire some of those things in. You know, whatever works for you and your lifestyle is what we're trying to do here. But what I want you to get into the habit of is figuring out what you don't have to do. And if you can teach somebody how to do it, then you don't have to do it.
Right.
If you can't teach somebody how to do it, then it has to be you.
Right. You know, it's so funny. I mean, what's really coming up for me as you're speaking is just the importance of getting clarity on what we're spending our time on now, because then we can identify the things that we're doing over and over again. Those are the first things to offload. And the documentation of that, which links back to the processes we talked about, and making that easy too, and so that it becomes easy to implement over time. And I just have to throw in here, you know, I'm such a believer in the rule of three. Pick 3 to start with and just do those, and then pick 3 more. And just before you know it, it's amazing how fast you can have a lot of these things in place. So that was awesome.
Yeah, once you have your list, the 3 is easy. You know,
Exactly.
Pick 3 today, pick 3 tomorrow. I mean, and most of these things take you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do. You know, writing a social media post, you know, doing whatever. Like that's where we are trying to do all these little things. And that's where people get a virtual assistant before they have clarity and they say it doesn't work.
Exactly.
It does.
That happens a lot.
You just don't know how to help them be successful.
How to help them help you.
Exactly. And then I have people that I've talked to that go and get interns, digital marketing interns. And they are like, yes, build my website. Yes, you can build my funnels. No input.
Yeah.
And so I had a person that I met with, and she's like, they're just not working out well. They're supposed to be lead generating and they're just not working out well. I spent almost an hour with her on the phone and I still couldn't get her to tell me exactly what it is she did. So how is someone else going to sell her?
Yeah.
You know, this is clarity. Clarity helps other people help you in when you have them in your life. And, you know, we talk about a scalable business, something that can rock from here all the way as far as, you know, you want to service as many clients as you can. If you want to go from being a solopreneur to being an agency, or, you know, whatever your plan and your path is, knowing that whatever you want to do, your systems and processes support that, so that you don't have to live in overwhelm, so you can do what you need to do. Now, I work with a lot of business brokers. And so for those of you here who have the mindset of someday I'm going to sell my business, I'm going to succeed my business to my child or my key employee or whatever, all of these things have to be in place. Because, you know, I come from a family of people who created jobs for themselves, right? So my dad has been swinging a hammer in the construction world for close to 40 years. And my brother, about 10 years ago, decided he was going to take over the business. Now, I'm from farm country. So basically what happens is the kid works the farm, i.e. the construction business, until the dad retires, and then they flip roles.
Right.
So now dad is just a helper and son runs the business, and dad gets paid a salary until he dies. Right? That's how it works in farm country. So now in the construction business, that's where we're at. But my dad is a horrible teacher. Right? He's a horrible teacher. And so in order to learn anything, my brother has to be able to learn by osmosis, literally standing there and watching him do it and taking notes and all of the things, or learn by helping him and then ask questions, so that my dad doesn't feel like he's teaching. Because that would be atrocious. Right? And we talk about this because I've been coaching my dad for years on little things like, you don't have to do it that way. Those types of things. They are going to have completely different management styles. My brother can teach. So once he knows it, he can take a crew and he can teach new people how to do things. My dad's never been able to do that. So this piece, my dad, if my brother was not there, my dad would never be able to sell his business. 40 years of working, he would not have a retirement at all, right? He'd basically work up until he couldn't work anymore. And his business would only be worth selling the equipment. That's it. And so what's your legacy, right? What is it that you want to do and where do you want to go with it? Most people are trying to build a business so that when they decide, okay, I want to retire, my printing business, has all these clients and all this, money coming in and all this kind of stuff. But no one knows what happens, when it happens, where the data is stored, what job is needing to come up next. So unless the business owner is willing to sell it for little and take a salary, that's how most small businesses have to sell their business if they're going to do it. If we work together, it takes about 5 to 7 years of consistency, making sure that your books are done correctly, making sure your processes are in place, making sure you don't have to be there. I highly suggest thinking can you take a day off in your business? Most people would say
Great
yes.
Question.
Right? Can you take a week off? Can you take a week off on an island with no cell phone? Can you take a month off? Can you take 6 months off? Right? Most people would say, some of them, most of them would say, no, I can't do any of those things. The ones that think okay, I could take a week off without a cell phone, their business would survive, but it wouldn't grow.
Right.
That's where I'm at in my business right now. I have amazing project managers we have exit strategy in place. I think about this stuff all the time. And I say, if I get hit by a bus, this is what's going to happen. All of that's in paper and that's all that's done. Right. So now if that were to happen, my project managers have to talk to each other and be like, do we want to keep having a business? Right. And then they would have to hire a me. They would have to hire a salesperson to grow the business so that they could do their job and manage the business and take care of the clients and manage the team and everything they're doing now. So that's my goal, is to clearly define all of the roles in our scalable business so that when the money is there, then the scalability happens.
Yeah. I love how you're talking about how everything that we do today impacts not just today, but the future and even into our retirement and our legacy. Because I don't think most entrepreneurs really think that way. And we get to, because it's important. What do we want to have? What do we want to have our retirement look like? Like for me, retirement is going to be, I don't know that I'll ever retire because I love what I do, but I built my business in a way that I can flex it up and down depending on how much I want to work, frankly, and how much extra income I want. So I love that, talking about how that drives really our legacy and our retirement options. So Brooke, this has been awesome. You've had so much valuable information here, from the difference between systems and processes and how we really can use our team to help create time that opens up for us to focus on the right things so that we can grow our business. And I loved how you were talking about planning now and implementing our systems over time, so it seems more manageable to be able to make it happen and basically work towards the ability to sell our business or phase out of our business and have the work that we've done be an asset. It adds value to a sale price if we're going to sell it. So I want to ask you to give me the bottom line. If you if you were going to sum up in a couple of sentences how systems and processes are critical to the success of our business, how would you kind of give us the synopsis?
If you want a business that can run without you, is valuable, and is scalable, you must have systems to take off some of your workload, and you must have processes to be able to delegate your workload. You cannot do it all by yourself. It's not going to happen. So, everybody has a different version of success and a different definition of success, but all of those come down to being able to make enough money to support what success means to us. And If you can do that by trading dollars for hours, great, all by yourself. Most people cannot.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to set yourself and your future team and your future up for success by doing those things.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Now, Brooke, I know you have a free gift that you would like to offer the audience. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So My Clone Solution is the done for you agency that we've been talking about. This is what we do as systems and processes and all the things behind it. I have created a community, the small business growth community, that where you're listening to, or you're part of here, right, Sherri? So the small business growth community is about education, doing business better, having business owners working together to be able to do that. So think of this as your normal networking group, but everyone is a business owner. And our communication is based on where you're at in your business. So for any of your listeners that want to get to know other business owners in networking, the education that we have to offer, all these things to do business better, I'm giving any of your listeners 6 months of membership for $1.
Wow,
So they're
that's
going to
awesome.
use, right? They're going to use the coupon code if I'd only known, and you'll have that with the link. And I am in there. I do a lot of trainings in there. My processes and my funnel training and all of the stuff that we talk about here is inside SBGC. And if you want to have a conversation with me, you can join into membership. You can find me on any of the social media platforms by my name or by my company. And then just come and be part of the community. And we can definitely get you set up, even if it's baby steps through systems and processes. If you need to run because you're closer to that end goal than others, then let's make sure that we have a call, and I'm available to do that too.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. That is a huge value. And just, community and accountability, having that community available to be accountability partners and to get ideas. And it's so important for entrepreneurs because it can be lonely being an entrepreneur. So I'm so thankful for you for offering that. So Brooke, before we go, I have one last question for you. And it's a question that I'm asking all of my guests. And that is, if you had known everything you know today when you started your business, what would you tell your new entrepreneur self?
All right. So at least you told me about this so that I could be prepared. So you must be of value in order for your business to grow. You must be a giver, and you must understand your value. People will take whatever you're willing to give. So be sure that you're willing to give without getting. Don't expect everyone to have your integrity. Bottom line, know what your gifts are worth and put a value on them, and choose which people you're willing to risk it all on.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that's a huge insight for the day. Well, Brooke, I want to thank you again for being here. I've enjoyed our discussion. Please, all of you listening, please look in the notes below our video for the link to Brooke's amazing 6-month membership in her small business growth community for just $1. Use the coupon code if I'd only known. And I will see you next time. Brooke, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.